Hello everybody, Laser here again, and today I will show you another replay of an awesome Elite War which we just played. And yeah, as always, I'll explain what we just did. So let's get into those reports. We've been playing against these alliance YUM and from the Kingdom 7-7. And it was an awesome Elite War. We had a lot of fun, and furthermore, it was during our worst activity time in our alliance. But with a nice strategy, we managed to turn this one around. So let's get right into it. We turn up this map. As you can see, we weren't that many players in the beginning of the Elite War. Our opponent totally outnumbered us. So, and I don't like to go for the castle 10, so we just split it up to the castles 5 and 6. So, as you can see, our opponent is here just outnumbering us. And here I gave the call to just let them go through. A few of us stayed in 9 and 11, and another group went forward to 14 and 15. And yeah, by splitting the groups, there they are attacking our castle. They were just faking it. A few of us got a bit nervous and ported back. I gave the call not to port back. Make sure to always just port back if there are swords and if you can clearly see that the majority of the enemy is really hitting the target or your castle. So yeah, I like to split up our lines or our teams into groups so we can maybe port back better. And yeah, there they were faking again our base because I was giving the call to attack 18. We might are getting a bit fast here, so I'll slow this down a bit to 4 times speed. And yeah, so they were going for our base when we were going for 18. I gave the call to recall on 18, and there we are going again. Many of us are ready to port back. They were slow marching us into our base. We won the fight on 18, and when we saw swords, I gave the call for all of us to port back. So again, we activated all our inactive players during this time, which were in our base. Even though our opponent outnumbered us, we were able to win the fight in our base because in our base we outnumbered them. And we won the fight, and as always, try to think of angels. They are very important for this. Yeah, at one fight, I think we will do this once again. As you can see, the enemy is just running it down again to 10. I think in one report, we attacked them after we won the second fight in our base. And we were like attacking with like 35 players, and they had like 52 players in the castle that we attacked. But due to us having the majority of angels, I think we had like 1 million angels more than them. We won the fight and completely burned it down. So just imagine or always remember that angels are the most important unit in those events. They are just completely overpowered currently, and yeah, always make sure to have maximum angels. There they were speeding our base again. We were just split it up. Our groups were able to port back, and there was this second fight I was talking about, where we just won again in our base. So we were just marching out again. This time I think was the call from me to regroup in 2. They were just going to 10, and now I gave the call to go to 10. Here, as always, if you're late, first speed when you see swords. Don't be that guy that speeds ahead, invests a lot of gems, and yeah, maybe the fight doesn't even happen. Maybe the enemy dodges you or something like that, or you have to recall because of any reasons. Just speed when you see swords. And this was the attack where we fought with 35 players against 52, and yeah, we completely crushed them. So we won the fight, and now I knew, okay, we are expanding our advantage of troops, angels, and so on and so on. And more players of us were signing in. So I wanted to play over time. And I like the port back function, which just costs 50 gems. But here I knew, okay, I want to play on time or for time. So I gave the call, yeah, just run back normally to refill your troops. So the enemy is thinking, okay, we can just run it down again. And while we were just, running it back, refilling, we had time. I knew we were expanding our advantage very far. And so I know, okay, we are currently leading this war, even though we were still outnumbered by our opponent, but our troop power and technology was just better in those fights. And because we had the majority of angels. So I gave the call for us to meet again in 2. I gave the call for our groups to split up to 5 and 6 again. Our opponent is with the majority of their troops in 10 and just sitting there. We were just walking forward. Here I gave the call for a few of us to recall their march. So we have 4 groups divided into different castles. So it isn't that easy for our opponent to lock all of our castles down. So they were just sitting in front of our base, which was completely fine. We are getting better and better at handling these situations. And here it was funny because I gave the call, okay, a few of us port back. Then we TA Castle 2, and if the opponent speeds us, we will lock them in 2. So we locked them in 2. A few of them were able to speed, and when we won the fight in 2, we just ported back to be back in the fight. So we won the fight in 2 when our opponent was outnumbered against us, and then we just had to port back to fight them in our base. At least a few that were able to speed our base, and we won another fight. I think this time I also gave the call here to heal all angels, just to extend our troop advantage and angel advantage even further. But I knew, okay, and I think it was around this time for our alliance that I gave the call, okay, listen up guys, we need to win. Oh no, I gave this call after this fight that is about to happen. I gave the call for the alliance, okay, listen guys, we need to win by the majority of castles. And it's always easier to win with the majority of castles when you're on the defending side, because if you're attacking and you're holding an even number, like 7 and 7 castles, then you lose when you're on the attacking side. But if you're defending and you have an even number of castles occupied by both alliances, you win. So it's always easier to win by the majority of castles if you're on the defending side. We won the fight. I knew, okay, we have 10 minutes left. Fine for us. We will slow walk back, refill, and then we will split up and play for the majority of castles. Oh no, I just said, okay, let's go back to 2, and then we already split up. A few of us went to refill, everything fine. Our opponent again is going for 10. And so I knew, okay, 10 is the worst castle that you want to hold on this map. So it was fine for me that they go there. It was also fine for me for them to come for 2. We were splitting up. We had nice groups out there. Very strong groups also, because as I just said, we always had the advantage of angels. And so I was fine seeing them sitting in 2, and we were just occupying castles, as you can see in the upper left. We got 11, 12, and so on castles. So I knew, okay, we just have to hold this situation. Here our opponent is attacking base again, and they just want to force us to port back. And from time to time you just know this, so I gave the call not to port back. So the opponent had actually nothing from this fake attack. They realized, and then they wanted to occupy castles from the back. And yeah, a few of us ported back when they faked on base, and I told them, okay guys, we have just a few minutes left, lock them down in 2. And those players of us that were ahead or yeah, far deep into the map, just hold the castles that you're actually in right now. And yeah, so our players were just locking down the majority of the opponent's troops in 2, fighting them, and yeah, just winning time for us. So we were, yeah, everybody was just holding their castle, fighting a bit. And yeah, as you might imagine, because we locked them down so much, and our reinforcement just came from the base and was able to reinforce some more castles. Even if the opponent occupied, I think, a few castles in the front here, they had no chance by getting the majority of castles. And as you might imagine, we won this elite war. And yeah, it was just awesome, because we started completely outnumbered again. And we just won by tactics, and yeah, know your weaknesses, know a few facts, and work around this as a leader if you're leading an elite war. And yeah, it was an awesome elite war. We had a lot of fun. We really celebrated our win, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay guys, so this was just another elite war that I wanted to share with you. And yeah, I would say see you in the next video. Goodbye.